Hi everyone, this is Mr. Moyo and welcome to another episode of MoyoMath. In today's session we'll be looking at Algebra Part 2. So we'll be looking at, the objective will be to look at simplifying algebraic expressions through multiplication and division of algebraic quantities. So before we get into it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, and persons who are interested in doing math and Add.Math lessons with me for the new academic year can contact me at 718-1104. So you can call or WhatsApp to that number 718-1104. So let's get into it. So our objective is to look at simplifying algebraic expressions by multiplication and division of algebraic quantities. Now, we know with an algebraic expression comprises of or consists of quantities. When we deal with multiplication and division, so we're going to say it consists of quantities connected by a multiplication or division sign, or both a multiplication and division sign. So an example of an algebraic expression where multiplication and division is involved, if we have P multiplied by Q. Now P and Q are quantities, so we're multiplying two quantities here, but PQ represents your term. So this here is your term, or hence your algebraic expression. So we're multiplying P by Q, which are quantities, but PQ here represents your term or algebraic expression. If I have A divided by B, this is A is a quantity, B is a quantity, so I'm dividing two quantities, and A over B represents your term, or otherwise known as your algebraic expression. If I have 6m multiplied by 2n, I'm multiplying here two quantities. So 6m by 2n, I can multiply the coefficients. 6 by 2 will give me 12. M multiplied by n will give me mn. So this here represents your term, and this also represents your algebraic expression. If I have A multiplied by B plus P multiplied by Q, I'm multiplying two quantities. So A by B will give me AB. So this here represents a term. And I have P multiplied by Q, I'm multiplying two quantities. So P by Q gives me PQ. So this here is an algebraic expression comprising of two terms. Alright? So we want to make sure we're clear on that when it comes to multiplication. And of course division of quantities. So simplification of algebraic expressions by multiplication and division of quantities. So when it comes to multiplication of quantities, we want to make sure we understand the law of multiplication of quantities. So if I have a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n, once I have the same variable, what we do is we maintain the variable a in this case, and the powers we must add. So we're going to add m to n to give us a power of m plus n. So a is your base and your power will be m plus n. So we have some examples here. We're multiplying two quantities. This will be, of course, quantities with the same variable p. So we maintain that variable p and we add our powers. 3 plus 4 will give us 7, p to the power of 7. If I have a to the power of 8 by a to the power of 7 by a to the power of 1, keeping in mind 1 is understood there, then we have the same variable a which we maintain, and the powers we must add. 8 plus 7 is 15 plus 1 will give us 16. We have 3m squared multiplied by 2m cubed. Of course, we can multiply the coefficients. 2 by 3, which is 6. So we're multiplying these two quantities. So 2 by 3 is 6, multiplying the coefficients. M to the power of 2 by m to the power of 3. We have the same variable which we maintain, but the powers we must add. 3 plus 2 to give us 5. If I have 5xy multiplied by 2xy, again, I'm multiplying two quantities. So I multiply 5 by 2, which will give me 10. My two coefficients, 5 by 2 gives me 10. X to the power of 1 multiplied by x will give me x to the power of 2. I have the same variable, so I maintain the variable x and I add my two powers. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. Similarly, y to the power of 1 by y to the power of 1, same variable y which I maintain, and I add my powers to give me y to the power of 2, and therefore I'm going to get 10x squared y squared as my answer. A to the power of 2 by b to the power of 2, I'm multiplying two quantities, so therefore this will be, of course, my variables are different, but in multiplying, what I will do, I will simply maintain my variable a and its power and maintain my variable b and its power. So a squared by b squared gives me a squared b squared. So when it comes to multiplication of quantities, we have to ensure we understand the rules of signs of multiplication of quantities. So a positive quantity by a positive quantity will give us a positive result. A positive quantity by a negative quantity will give us a negative result. A negative quantity by a positive quantity will give us a negative result. And a negative quantity by a negative quantity will give us a positive result. So we have to make sure we understand those rules of signs of multiplication of quantities. So for example, positive 9y by positive 3y, a plus by a plus is a positive result. 9 by 3 is 27, y multiplied by y gives us y to the power of 2, positive 27y squared. Quantity 5a multiplied by quantity negative 3a, I can multiply positive 5 by negative 3, a plus by a minus is a minus, 5 by 3 is 15, and a by a will give us e squared. Negative 3p squared by positive 2p to the power of 4, multiplying those two quantities, negative 3 by 2 will give me negative 6, a minus by a plus is a minus, 3 by 2 is 6, p to the power of 2 by p to the power of 4 gives me p to the power of 6. I add my powers provided the variables are the same. Negative 8m to the power of 5 by negative 3m to the power of 3. I'm multiplying two quantities. Negative 8 by negative 3. A minus by a minus is a plus. 8 by 3 will give me 24. M to the power of 5 by m to the power of 3. Same variable which I maintain. And the powers I add, 3 plus 5 gives me 8. So I get positive 24 m to the power of 8. And negative 3a by minus 2b plus 4p by 5q. So I'm multiplying these two quantities. So a minus by a minus is a plus. 3 by 2 will give me 6. A by b will give me 6ab. And of course, I have my plus sign, so I'm going to multiply these two quantities. 5p by 4q. I multiply my 4 by 5, which gives me 20. And p by q gives me pq. So in multiplying these two quantities, I have my algebraic expression, which is one term, positive result. I have my algebraic expression, one term, negative result. Algebraic expression, one term, negative result. Algebraic expression, one term, positive result. Algebraic expression, two terms, as we clearly see. So let's move on now to the law of division of quantities. So when we're dividing quantities, once we are dividing quantities where we have the same variables, we maintain that variable, but the powers we must subtract. So m subtract n. So m will be written first. So the first quantity, the power of the first quantity will be written first, subtract the power of the second quantity will be written after. So if you have some examples, a to the power of 4 divided by a to the power of 2, I'm dividing these two quantities. Once I have the same variable, I maintain the variable a, and the powers I subtract. 4 subtract 2, it gives me a to the power of 2. 8m to the power of 5 divided by 4m to the power of 3. I have coefficients, I'm dividing those two quantities. I have coefficients, so therefore I can divide 8 by 4, so 4 into 8 gives me 2. M to the power of 5 divided by m to the power of 3, I have the same variable, so I maintain the variable m and I subtract the powers, so 5 minus 3 gives me 2. 16p to the power of 4, q to the power of 5 divided by 4p to the power of 2. q to the power of 3, I divide my two coefficients. 16 divided by 4 will give me 4. I am dividing p to the power of 4 by p to the power of 2. I have the same variable p, which I maintain, and the powers I subtract. 4 minus 2 will give me 2, so I have p squared. Variable q to the power of 5 divided by q to the power of 3, I have the same variable q. So therefore, I maintain my variable q and I subtract the power. 5 minus 3 gives me 2, and therefore my answer will be 4p squared q squared. If I have m divided by n, I'm dividing those two quantities. Clearly my variables are different, so therefore my answer will remain as m divided by n. And you can rewrite it as m over n. The division sign here is replaced by the vinculum. M will be written in the numerator, n will be written in the denominator. So you can also rewrite it and represent your answer as such. If you have p divided by q plus a divided by b, this here is the same as p over q. You have different variables, so we can express it as p over q, p divided by q, plus a divided by b. So in this case, when we're dividing, we have one term, hence one expression. We have one term, hence one expression. One term, hence one expression. One term, hence one expression. Two terms in that algebraic expression. Alright? So the rules of signs of division of quantities. So a plus divided by a plus, a positive quantity divided by a positive quantity gives us a positive result. A positive quantity divided by a negative quantity gives us a negative result. A negative quantity divided by a positive quantity gives us a negative result. And a negative quantity divided by a negative quantity gives us a positive result. So let's look at some examples. If we have positive 10x to the power of 7 divided by 5x to the power of 3, I can divide my coefficients. 10 divided by 5 gives me 2, and x to the power of 7 divided by x to the power of 3. Once you have the same variable, you maintain the variable x, and the powers you subtract. So 7 minus 3 gives us 4, 2x to the power of 4. 15q to the power of 4 divided by negative 3 cubed. So I can, of course, divide my coefficients. First, 15 divided by negative 3. A plus divided by a minus is a minus. 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. Q to the power of 4 divided by q to the power of 1. Same variable q, so you maintain the variable q and subtract the power. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So we have negative 5q to the power of 3. Negative 27a to the power of 5, b to the power of 7 divided by 9, a to the power of 2, b to the power of 5. You can divide your coefficients. Negative 27 divided by 9. Rules of signs. A minus divided by a plus is a minus. 9 into 27 is 3, so we get negative 3. A to the power of 5 divided by a to the power of 2. Same variable, you maintain the variable a and subtract the powers. 5 minus 2 is 3. B to the power of 7 divided by b to the power of 5. Maintain the variable b, subtract your powers. 7 minus 5 is 2. So negative 3a cubed b squared as your answer. And the last, negative 81 d to the power of 8 e to the power of 7 divided by negative 9 d to the power of 6 e to the power of 6. So let's divide our coefficients. Negative 81 divided by negative 9. A minus divided by a minus is a plus. 9 divided into 81 is 9. D to the power of 8 divided by d to the power of 6. Same variable, maintain that variable d, and the powers you subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. E to the power of 7 divided by e to the power of 6. Same variable e, maintain, and you subtract your powers. 7 minus 6 will give us e to the power of 1. 1 is understood. So again, dividing two quantities, we have our final result, which is one term, hence one algebraic expression. Similarly, dividing these two quantities, we have a negative result, and of course, one term, one algebraic expression, and the same applies to all others. One term, one algebraic expression as our final results. So dividing quantities. So we have this special question. Remember those special questions. Take a look at it, pay attention. Those special questions, if you follow my lives, which I'll be doing regularly, I'll be talking about these special questions. You have to come back to these videos to help you to win a prize. So pay attention, join the lives, and focus on the information that will be shared during the lives, and you are going to use these videos to help you to win a prize. So pay attention. Alright, so I hope what was taught today was clear to everyone, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. And for my classes, which will begin for the new academic year, you can contact me at 718-1104 for math and Add.Math classes. So have a great one, and see you in the next video. Take care.